Life fucking sucks. Inbox overflowing, rent due, and by Monday morning, you'll be back at your 9-to-5 grind, pretending everything's fine. So tonight, before you clock back in, let me hand you something better. 10 hard-hitting power fantasies to binge when the world feels small. These shows aren't about polite heroism. They're about getting what you deserve. Respect, revenge, dominance, or the cold comfort of absolute control. Served in 10 different flavors. Brutal, cunning, tragic, and strangely cathartic. Turn the volume up, pick your poison, and watch protagonists who actually change the world instead of waiting for it to change them. By the time your alarm screams tomorrow, you'll feel a little more dangerous.
Number 1. ReZero. Starting life in another world from zero. How can a show that mercilessly grinds its protagonist into the dust be called a power fantasy? ReZero answers that by flipping the formula. Instead of handing its hero effortless control, it forces him to win power the hard way. Natsuki Subaru arrives in a new world with nothing but bravado and bad luck. Through Return by Death, he repeatedly dies, learns, and is forced to confront the worst parts of himself. Characters like Amelia, Rem, and Crush become the stakes in the mirrors. Amelia's fragile trust, Rem's fierce devotion, Crush's political strength. Each relationship is a trophy Subaru must painfully earn. The show fulfills male wish fulfillment in the most brutal ways. The fantasy of respect, influence, and affection is granted, but only after Subaru survives trauma, guilt, and isolation that reshape him into someone worthy of those rewards. Rather than easy dominion, the pleasure comes from watching a broken, stubborn kid rebuild himself into a defender, a champion, a man who finally protects what he loves. In short, ReZero makes the wish realization feel earned, raw, costly, and oddly more satisfying because it was ripped out of him one painful step at a time.
Number 2. Code Geass, Lelouch of the Rebellion. In an alternate timeline where the Holy Britannian Empire has conquered Japan, Lelouch v. Britannia, an exiled prince, hides under the alias Lelouch Lamperouge. His chance encounter with the mysterious girl CC grants him the Geass, a power allowing him to command absolute obedience with a single gaze. With this gift, Lelouch crafts the persona of Zero, leading the Black Knights in a rebellion that topples armies, manipulates governments, and bends entire nations to his will. Supporting figures like Suzaku Karugi, his conflicted friend turned rival, and Nunnally, his beloved sister, deepen the stakes of his double life. What makes the show intoxicating is how it indulges the fantasy of intellectual dominance, victories born from ruthless gambits, theatrical speeches, and the thrill of outmaneuvering empires. Every battle feels like a grand chess match, yet for all his brilliance, the final entry unleashes fantasies in the most brutal ways, where suffering, time, and fate themselves are bent to one man's will.
Number 3. Hellsing Ultimate. In a shadowed Britain teetering on chaos, the Hellsing organization wages war against vampires and supernatural threats under the command of Sir Integra Hellsing. At its core stands Alucard, the ultimate weapon, a vampire so ancient and powerful that bullets, blades, and entire armies crumble before his will. Armed with oversized pistols and reality-bending abilities, he relishes combat, dismantling foes with sadistic glee. Characters like Sarah's Victoria, his fledgling, showcase his role as both mentor and force of nature, while his rivalry with Alexander Anderson highlights battles that feel mythic in scale. The enjoyment stems from Alucard's unshakable confidence, his theatrical brutality, and the intoxicating sense of watching an immortal predator toy with his enemies. This fulfills the male power fantasy of untouchable sovereignty, where one doesn't simply win, but dominates with style and terrifying grace. Yet if Alucard embodies primal supremacy, number 2 shifts toward tactical charisma, commanding entire nations.
Number 4. The Irregualr at Magic High School. Set in a near future where magic is wielded through advanced technology, siblings Tatsuya and Miyuki Shiba enroll at First High School. Miyuki, blessed with prodigious magical ability, enters as an elite Course 1 student, while Tatsuya is relegated to Course 2, branded a weed due to his seemingly poor magical aptitude. But Tatsuya's true gifts lie elsewhere: devastating combat efficiency, unparalleled engineering genius, and analytical prowess that dismantles opponents before they act. He creates custom CADs, rewrites magical systems, and wields lethal techniques like decomposition and material burst, placing him above even decorated magicians. The hooks lie in watching a supposed outcast systematically overshadow aristocrats and military elites, while also commanding absolute loyalty from allies and reverence from his sister. This embodies the male power fantasy of hidden supremacy, the thrill of being underestimated, then unveiling dominance so absolute it redefines the battlefield. If concealed genius fuels this entry, number 3 revels in power made gloriously public.
Number 5. The Rising of the Shield Hero. Naofumi Iwatani is summoned alongside 3 others as cardinal heroes, tasked with defending Melromark from catastrophic waves. While the spears, sword, and bow heroes are showered with praise, Naofumi is branded a criminal after Princess Malti falsely accuses him of assault. Stripped of trust and resources, he relies solely on the shield, a weapon deemed weak. His survival hinges on pragmatism. Buying Rafkalia, a demi-human slave who grows into both his sword and emotional anchor, recruiting the bird-like Philo, and mastering cursed shield forms that amplify his rage into destructive counterattacks. This story crystallizes a male power fantasy of vindication, an outcast forging strength through adversity, proving every detractor wrong while gathering loyal companions who thrive under his leadership. Each triumph, from dismantling conspiracies to saving kingdoms, reclaims stolen honor. But where Naofumi's triumph is born from betrayal, Number 4 channels supremacy through sheer predestined dominance.
Number 6. The world's finest assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat. Lug Tuatha Dé, once Earth's deadliest assassin, is betrayed by the very organization he served. A mysterious goddess offers him a second life in a medieval world threatened by a hero fated to destroy it. Reborn into the prestigious Tuatha Dé family, Lug inherits both noble status and cutting-edge assassination techniques, blending modern weaponcraft with magical precision. He engineers rifles disguised as staffs, poisons masked as potions, and strategies that make every kill look like fate itself. Allies like Dia Viacon embody his emotional anchor, while his father Cian and mother Ezri shape him into both heir and tool. The fantasy here is mastery and foresight, complete control of tools, politics, and destiny itself. Lug is the man who never misses, a craftsman of dominance. If you prefer vengeance fueled by betrayal and public scorn, Number 5 sharpens that fantasy even further.
Number 7. Arifureta, from commonplace to world's strongest. Hajime Nagumo is transported with his classmates to a fantasy world where his modest transmutation skills and frail frame make him an object of contempt. Betrayed during a dungeon raid, he tumbles into an abyss and survives through brutal improvisation, consuming monster flesh, reforging bone and ore into blunt weapons, and mastering relentless, practical combat. He forges fierce bonds with Yu, a vampire princess, Shia, a sharp-eared beastkin, and Tio, a dragonkin artificer who become loyal allies. The series sells a male power fantasy of metamorphosis and vindication. Humiliation becomes the crucible that recasts him into an apex fighter who dominates through physical ferocity, cunning weaponcraft, and uncompromising will. Viewers witness concrete upgrades, augmented strength, novel armaments, feared techniques, and the comfort of choosing and protecting a devoted circle. Next up, Number 6 turns personal vengeance into cold, efficient supremacy, forging ruthless new order.
Number 8. Redo of Healer. Kiaru, later Kiarga, is a healing hero whose healing links him to the wounds and memories of everyone he mends, forcing him to internalize their pain. Chosen as the healing hero, he's repeatedly exploited and broken by Princess Flair Algrande Giorl, Commander Leonard, and a corrupt Giorl court, while friends like Anna and Correga suffer for the system's cruelty. After uncovering forbidden truths and defeating the demon lord Eve, Kiaru seizes the Philosopher's Stone, rewinds time, and remakes himself to seize agency. He copies skills, manipulates bodies and memories, frames rivals, engineers obedience, and even renames Flair Freya to lock her loyalty. The series literalizes a male power fantasy of reclamation, helplessness refashioned into absolute control, public humiliation repaid with dominance, and intimate violation converted into strategic leverage. It trades moral comfort for the visceral satisfaction of rewriting power dynamics and delivering revenge as mastery. If you crave survival-forged dissension rather than calculated depravity, Number 7 answers that hunger.
Number 9. Saga of Tanya the Evil. Tanya de Gurachev begins as a ruthless young officer in an alternate imperial army. Externally, she is a precocious child, but inwardly, she is a reincarnated salaryman who challenged a godlike entity called Being X and was reborn to test faith ultimately. Figures like Victoria Ivanovna surround her, offering loyalty, tension, and the human cost of command. Tanya ascends by cold calculation, perfecting combat magic, optimizing artillery barrages, exploiting logistics, and trading moral softness for promotions that expand her authority. The series fulfills a male power fantasy of strategic supremacy, not mere brawn, but the intoxicating certainty of having the right move, the perfect order, and the final say over life and battlefield fate. Victories become administrative triumphs, forced surrenders, decisive encirclements, and promotions earned through terrifying competence. If you crave a grimmer, revenge-driven wish fulfillment, number 8 turns personal hurt into weaponized reclamation.
Number 10. The misfit of Demon King Academy, Anos Voldegod, the original Demon King, sacrificed himself to save the world and reincarnated millennia later to reclaim supremacy. He enrolls at the Demon King Academy, where pedigrees and exams supposedly decide the next ruler. Anos breezes through challenges, exposes falsified histories, humiliates nobles like Lei Glenzudli, and casually heals or resurrects allies such as Misha and Sasha. The show sells a male power fantasy of effortless dominion, absolute strength paired with charismatic swagger and institutional control. Anos' victories are swift and dramatic, overturning verdicts, rewriting genealogies, nullifying curses, and remaking tradition by demonstration. So viewers taste the thrill of being infallible protector and unchallenged sovereign. Narrative convenience amplifies that wish fulfillment. Systems bend to him. It's the glee of rewriting rules while staying always tender to a chosen few. If you want colder, more tactical supremacy, number 9 delivers battlefield calculus and ruthless strategy.
That's the list. 10 ways to feel a little less helpless tonight. Vindication, domination, cold strategy, brutal reclamation, and the rare kind of earned power that actually hurts to get. Whether you want to watch someone tear down their enemies, bend rules, or rebuild from zero, there's a flavor here for the mood you're in. Pick one, binge it, and tell me which fantasy you needed most, or which protagonist you'd be in another life. I'll read the best takes and maybe steal a comment for the next video. Maybe leave a like and subscribe to make a guy happy after hours of editing. Press on that bell icon too while you're at it, so you will be notified about all of my latest new videos. And as for now, I'll catch you later.